And my problem, Freya, is that when people start to go, oh, no, the coalition shouldn't, Poilievre's lost because he's too close to Trump. Firstly, that's not true, because Poilievre has always had a difficult relationship with Trump. But here in Australia, there's no evidence whatsoever that the public don't support Donald Trump, and that the coalition should not have gone 100% down the Trump route, because all the same issues are here. If, as Rita says, we are to get rid of this horrible left-wing government, Albanese is Joe Biden. Look at the comparisons. They can barely stand on a stage together without tripping over each other. They can barely speak the Queen's English. Both of them are hard left buffoons, and the Trump agenda of attacking wokeness was the key for the coalition to win this campaign, and they refused to do it.
But part of there is some truth in that, but also we have to remember the two key reasons people voted for Trump were inflation, cost of living, and illegal immigration. Think about what is at play this election.
The third one, which was the culture war issues. And in fact, in all the research, it showed that was number one for the independent voters. So that was underplayed greatly. Now, I disagree with you. I disagree with you on there being no negative connotations, because our media is uniquely terrible.
Media is... I'm talking about the real people.
Most Australians who... this is what they absorb. And they don't really, other than programs like this, or if they're online and they're seeing things on social media, most of what they consume about Donald Trump is just hysterical, false, far-left idiocy, even when it comes from some supposedly right-leaning commentators. So that's the perception that's out there.
Absolutely.
So that I can understand why they're worried about that. But a work of a coalition or any sort of conservative force in this country should be to articulate the policy positions and to fight on them. And if they actually did that, if they actually took the Trump agenda, forget about him, but if they looked at things like cost of living, the inflation issue, they looked at the culture war issues. These are significant issues. This is about the values of a country. They're not trivial. And if they fought on them, they would have a fighting chance. But they're so scared, they're so terrified to even have that comparison made, that they are just on the back foot. And that is not how you win as an opposition. You need to be in attack mode every single day.
100%, and that's my point, and that's what I'm talking about, the Donald Trump playbook. Not Donald Trump, but the Donald Trump playbook. The most successful ad that Trump won was the one attacking Kamala Harris on they, them, we stand for you. The coalition could have just done that and won the culture wars, but instead they walked away from Donald Trump like he's toxic right from the word go. The first thing Peter Dutton said was, after Trump's victory, Peter Dutton should have said, what a fantastic day for the world. Instead, he came out and he said, oh, there's no need to be afraid of a Donald Trump thing. No, we should be embracing the Trump victory and not playing on Labor's ground, because you as Rita said, the media are entirely painting Trump as a problem. You speak to average Australians out there and you actually have a discussion with them. Rita, you're going to be talking about Bill Maher's amazing Trump dinner and conversion. The coalition should have embraced Trump, not been scared of him. That's my point.
Yeah, well, I think Trump has done some great things, and I think especially like reining in government waste. That's an example where the coalition has taken up that position. The walk back around a few of the policy areas was very interesting.
Where's Jacinta Price? Every day she should be out there saying, we've discovered this waste, that waste, here's another 10 million, here's another 100 million.
Rowan,
where's the waste?
There is so much more scope in Australia to actually tackle this stuff than even America. The racial politics that we've had shoved down our throat in this country, that the Australians just rejected in a referendum, have you heard anything about that from the coalition? That could have been another plank to this fight.
The waste of money. Sorry, I interrupted you. Right.
No, well, I think that's right. And I think what we have to do is keep bringing up the Voice to Parliament referendum, because that is a concrete reminder of the actual ideology driving the Labor government. It is radical. It is socialist. It is trying to fundamentally remake Australia and our institutions in their kind of critical race theory migratory lens. And so that has to be brought up time and time again. We cannot let Australians forget. But it's interesting. I feel like over the last 2 months, Australians have forgotten the last 3 years, and they've kind of just started accepting the Labor lines.
Is it to remind
Well,
them?
exactly.
Well, I think Australians have forgotten, and it seems many members of the opposition have also forgotten, because I have not seen such a lacklustre campaign. We complained, well, some of us complained on this panel, there was a bit of argument, but I thought it was absolutely shameful that it took the Liberal Party 10 months to oppose The Voice formally. Remember, they were on the fence, wanted more detail, weren't quite sure. When on principle, they should have rejected that toxic ideology. And they don't have 10 months now. They needed to come out fighting. They needed to be very clear on who they were, what they stood for, and how that is different from Labor. Because at the end of the day, you're asking Australians to throw out a first-term government. Australians don't easily do that without good cause. So you better articulate what's wrong in this country, how much worse it's going to get under Anthony Albanese. And we're not seeing that. We have a new policy announcement today. We'll talk to Senator Alex Antic about that later. More money, up to $1,200 for households in a tax rebate. You know what? Buying votes, we should be a bit more sophisticated than that. Both parties can play that game. Both parties are playing that game. It is a cost of living election. But the way the Libs have approached it thus far, I'm not surprised the polls are turning against them. They really need to, and it's showing, it's fracturing on the right. They've lost primary vote, and that primary vote hasn't gone to Labor, it's gone to minors.
Yeah.
And that is again, those alarm bells that were ringing when Turnbull was in power, and also when Morrison went to the election last time.